Picture this. You're walking along a beach when suddenly you spot something bizarre in the shallow water. A squid is methodically stacking empty shells into a neat pile, then carefully arranging pieces of coral around them like it's decorating a living room. You rub your eyes, thinking you're hallucinating, but no. This creature is actually interior designing. And that's just the beginning of how absolutely mind-bending squids really are. Squids are some of the most alien creatures on our planet, yet they share our oceans. They can shapeshift in milliseconds, communicate through flashing rainbow patterns across their skin, and hunt with the precision of guided missiles. But here's what should absolutely blow your mind. These incredible abilities evolved completely independently from anything we see in mammals, birds, or any vertebrates. Squids represent an entirely different experiment in intelligence, one that challenges everything we thought we knew about what it means to be smart. Before we dive deeper into this squid mystery, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. We're about to explore some of the most incredible biological phenomena on Earth, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now, when most people think of intelligent animals, they picture dolphins working together, elephants mourning their dead, or primates using tools. All of these creatures share something crucial. They're social. They live in groups, raise their young together, and learn from each other. Scientists have long believed that intelligence requires society. After all, complex social situations demand complex problem-solving abilities. But squids shatter this assumption completely. Most squid species are loners, drifting through the ocean in solitude, meeting other squids only briefly to mate before going their separate ways. They don't raise their young, don't form lasting relationships, and certainly don't have squid universities where they pass down knowledge. Yet somehow, these antisocial sea creatures have evolved cognitive abilities that rival some of the smartest animals on the planet. Take the Caribbean reef squid, for instance. These creatures can change their skin patterns faster than you can blink, creating mesmerizing displays of colors and textures that serve as a complex visual language. But here's where it gets really wild. A male squid approaching a female will often display two completely different patterns simultaneously. On the side facing the female, he shows courtship colors, essentially saying, "Hey baby, look how attractive I am." But on the opposite side, facing potential male rivals, he displays aggressive warning patterns that basically translate to "back off, she's mine." This isn't just impressive camouflage. This is tactical deception requiring the squid to maintain two separate visual narratives at the same time while navigating a complex social situation. The cognitive processing power required for this kind of split personality display is staggering. But visual communication is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to squid superpowers. Their hunting abilities read like something out of a science fiction novel. Many squid species are equipped with tentacles that can shoot out like biological harpoons, extending at speeds that create cavitation bubbles in the water. We're talking about acceleration forces that would turn a human into jelly. The Humboldt squid, known to fishermen as the red devil, can grow to 6 feet long and hunt in coordinated groups despite their supposed antisocial nature. These creatures have been observed working together to corner schools of fish, taking turns to dart in and grab prey while others maintain the perimeter. It's pack hunting behavior that requires communication, timing, and strategic thinking. Even more incredible is how they execute these lightning-fast strikes. A squid's tentacles contain millions of muscle fibers arranged in complex helical patterns. When they contract in sequence, they create a whip-like motion that generates tremendous speed and accuracy. But controlling this biological weapon requires split-second calculations of distance, trajectory, and timing. The squid's nervous system has to solve complex physics problems in real time, while the creature is often moving through three-dimensional space. Speaking of their nervous system, this is where squids get truly alien. While humans have centralized brains that control everything, squids have distributed intelligence scattered throughout their bodies. Their tentacles contain clusters of neurons that can make decisions independently of the main brain. A severed squid tentacle will continue to hunt, grabbing at potential prey and even attempting to feed a mouth that's no longer there. This distributed intelligence allows squids to multitask in ways that seem impossible. They can be scanning for predators with their eyes, tracking multiple prey items with different tentacles, adjusting their camouflage to match the background, and coordinating their jet propulsion for movement all simultaneously. It's like having multiple specialized computers running different programs at the same time. But perhaps the most mind-bending aspect of squid biology is their ability to essentially become invisible. Squid camouflage makes chameleons look like amateur hour, where chameleons take several seconds to change color and can only produce a limited palette. Squids can transform their entire appearance in a fraction of a second. Their skin contains millions of specialized cells called chromatophores, each one like a tiny balloon filled with colored pigment. These cells are surrounded by muscles that can contract or relax, causing the pigment to spread out and become visible, or contract and disappear. But color is just the beginning. Squids also have cells called iridophores that create metallic, rainbow-like effects through structural coloration, and leucophores that produce white tones. The real magic happens when you consider that squids can control all of these cells independently and simultaneously. They're essentially living pixels, capable of creating complex patterns, textures, and even moving images across their skin. Some species can mimic the color and texture of rocks so perfectly that they become functionally invisible until they move. Now here's where it gets really weird. Recent research suggests that many squid species might be functionally colorblind. How can an animal that creates such sophisticated visual displays not be able to see colors? Scientists think the answer lies in their skin itself. The same light-sensitive proteins found in their eyes have been discovered throughout their skin, suggesting that squid skin might be able to detect and respond to light directly, without any input from the brain or eyes. This would mean that squids don't need to look at their surroundings to camouflage against them. Their skin might automatically detect the colors and patterns around them and adjust accordingly. It's like having a smartphone that changes its case color to match whatever surface you place it on. Except this is a living animal doing it unconsciously. The implications of this discovery are staggering. It suggests a completely different model of perception than anything we understand. Humans see the world through our eyes and interpret it in our brains. Squids might literally feel their visual environment through their skin and respond automatically. They're not just seeing the world differently than us. They're experiencing it through an entirely different sensory paradigm. This brings us to one of the most fascinating questions in biology. How did creatures so different from us evolve such sophisticated intelligence? The answer seems to lie in the incredible complexity of their environment and lifestyle. Squids are soft-bodied predators in a world full of things that want to eat them. They have no shells, no armor, no venom, and no ability to hide in burrows. Their only defenses are speed, intelligence, and camouflage. In such a hostile environment, being smart isn't just an advantage, it's a matter of life and death. They also face incredibly diverse hunting challenges. Different squid species specialize in different prey. Some hunt fish that require lightning-fast reflexes and precise trajectory calculations. Others target crabs and lobsters that demand problem-solving skills to crack shells and extract meat. Still others pursue small, schooling fish that require coordinated group hunting strategies. This ecological pressure cooker created the perfect conditions for intelligence to evolve, even in the absence of complex social structures. When your environment presents a constant stream of novel problems that require flexible solutions, natural selection favors bigger brains and more sophisticated cognitive abilities. But squid intelligence isn't just about survival. Scientists have documented behaviors that can only be described as playful. Squids in captivity have been observed manipulating objects for no apparent reason other than curiosity. They'll pick up rocks, shells, or pieces of coral and examine them carefully, turning them over in their tentacles like a human might fidget with a puzzle cube. This kind of exploratory behavior is considered a hallmark of intelligence because it serves no immediate survival function. It's pure curiosity, the desire to understand the world around them simply for the sake of understanding. The fact that solitary creatures like squids engage in this behavior suggests that curiosity and intelligence might be more fundamental biological drives than we previously understood. Recent studies have also revealed that squids have remarkable learning abilities. They can be trained to navigate mazes, distinguish between different shapes and colors, and even solve multi-step problems to obtain food rewards. What's particularly impressive is how quickly they learn. Many squid species can master complex tasks in just a few trials, showing a level of behavioral flexibility that rivals much more social animals. One of the most surprising discoveries about squid intelligence came from studies of their memory. Despite having relatively short lifespans, squids demonstrate both short-term and long-term memory capabilities. They can remember the locations of productive hunting grounds, the identities of potential threats, and even the outcomes of previous encounters with other squids. This memory system becomes particularly important during mating season. Male squids must navigate complex social hierarchies, remembering which rivals they've fought before, which females have already mated, and which territories are worth defending. They're essentially maintaining a mental map of their social world, despite being predominantly solitary creatures. The mating behaviors of squids reveal another layer of their cognitive sophistication. Many species engage in elaborate courtship displays that involve precise timing, complex color patterns, and even ritualized dances. Males often compete not through physical combat, but through displays of visual creativity, essentially having artistic competitions to win the attention of females. Some squid species take this even further, with males creating temporary works of art in the sand using shells, rocks, and other debris to attract mates. These constructions serve no practical purpose other than demonstrating the male's creativity and attention to detail. It's behavior that parallels the artistic displays we see in some birds, but evolved completely independently in a very different branch of the tree of life. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of squid cognition is their problem-solving ability. Squids in both laboratory and wild settings have demonstrated the ability to use tools, a behavior once thought to be unique to primates and a few bird species. They've been observed using coconut shells as portable shelters, manipulating rocks to create hunting blinds, and even fashioning simple tools from pieces of debris. One particularly fascinating observation involved a group of squid that learned to steal bait from fishing lines. Rather than simply grabbing the bait and getting caught, these clever cephalopods figured out how to approach from below, carefully strip the bait from the hook without triggering the line, and escape with their prize. This requires not just problem-solving ability, but also an understanding of cause and effect relationships. The tool use becomes even more impressive when you consider the challenges squids face in manipulating objects. Unlike primates with opposable thumbs or birds with specialized beaks, squids must use their flexible tentacles to grip and manipulate tools. This requires incredibly precise neural control and spatial awareness to coordinate multiple tentacles working together on a single task. Scientists have also discovered that squids engage in something that can only be described as tactical thinking. They've been observed studying potential prey for extended periods, apparently analyzing the best approach before striking. Some species will even create diversions, using their color-changing abilities to create movement patterns that distract prey while positioning themselves for an ambush. This kind of strategic planning requires the ability to hold multiple pieces of information in working memory, while evaluating different possible actions and their likely outcomes. It's the kind of executive function that we typically associate with much more complex brains. The jet propulsion system that squids use for movement adds another layer to their cognitive achievements. Moving through three-dimensional space using jet propulsion is like trying to navigate while constantly falling backward. It requires continuous calculations of thrust, direction, and momentum to maintain control. Yet squids make it look effortless, darting through coral reefs and kelp forests with the precision of a trained pilot. Some species have even learned to use their jet propulsion for hunting, creating water cannons that can stun small fish or knock prey off surfaces. This requires not just motor control, but also an understanding of fluid dynamics and projectile physics. The sensory world of squids is equally impressive. Their eyes are among the most sophisticated in the animal kingdom, capable of detecting polarized light patterns invisible to human vision. This ability allows them to see through camouflage that would fool most predators, detect transparent prey like jellyfish, and possibly even communicate through polarized light signals. Their tentacles function as sophisticated chemical analysis systems, able to taste and smell their environment through thousands of specialized sensors. Each sucker on a squid's tentacle is packed with chemoreceptors that can identify different substances at the molecular level. This means squids are constantly tasting their world, building up complex chemical maps of their environment that provide information about prey, predators, and potential mates. But here's what makes squid intelligence truly extraordinary. Unlike the social intelligence we see in primates, dolphins, and other highly cognitive animals, squid intelligence evolved primarily for individual survival in an incredibly challenging environment. They didn't need to navigate complex social hierarchies or coordinate group activities. Instead, they developed cognitive abilities focused on rapid problem-solving, environmental assessment, and tactical decision-making. This represents a completely different evolutionary pathway to intelligence, one that challenges our assumptions about what smart animals should look like and how they should behave. Squids prove that intelligence can evolve in any lineage faced with sufficiently complex environmental challenges, regardless of social structure or evolutionary relationship to humans. The study of squid cognition has profound implications for how we think about intelligence beyond Earth. For decades, scientists searching for extraterrestrial intelligence have assumed that alien minds would be fundamentally similar to ours: social, technological, and communicative through symbolic language. We've built our search strategies around looking for radio signals and evidence of large-scale engineering projects. But if intelligence can evolve in forms as radically different as squids right here on Earth, what might alien intelligence actually look like? Perhaps the universe is full of minds that think in ways we might not even recognize as cognition. Intelligence that operates through distributed processing, sensory modalities we can't imagine, or problem-solving approaches that bear no resemblance to human thought. The squid nervous system offers a glimpse into this possibility. With hundreds of millions of neurons distributed throughout their bodies rather than centralized in a single brain, squids demonstrate that effective information processing doesn't require the hierarchical organization we see in vertebrates. Their intelligence is networked, parallel, and highly specialized for their unique ecological niche. This distributed intelligence might actually be more common in the universe than the centralized intelligence we're familiar with. After all, centralized brains are energetically expensive and create single points of failure. Distributed intelligence is more robust, more efficient for certain kinds of problems, and might be the preferred solution for intelligence evolving under different environmental pressures. When we consider the vast diversity of possible environments in the universe, different gravities, atmospheric compositions, energy sources, and physical constraints, it becomes clear that intelligence might evolve in forms we can barely conceptualize. Squids are just one example of how different intelligence can be while still being recognizably intelligent. The more we learn about these remarkable creatures, the more we realize how limited our understanding of intelligence really is. We've defined intelligence primarily through our own cognitive abilities, creating tests that favor the kinds of thinking humans excel at: verbal reasoning, abstract problem-solving, long-term planning, and social cooperation. But squids excel at entirely different kinds of intelligence: rapid pattern recognition, distributed information processing, real-time environmental adaptation, and tactical decision-making. Their cognitive abilities are optimized for problems humans never face: coordinating 8 semi-autonomous limbs, processing chemical information from thousands of independent sensors, or generating coordinated color changes across millions of chromatophores in milliseconds. Neither human nor squid intelligence is objectively superior. They're simply optimized for different challenges. This realization forces us to expand our definition of intelligence beyond the narrow parameters of human cognition and consider the vast range of possible minds that evolution might produce. The study of squid intelligence also reveals something profound about consciousness itself. What is it like to be a creature whose arms can think independently? How does it feel to taste your environment through your skin while simultaneously processing visual information through eyes that can see polarized light? What is the subjective experience of controlling millions of chromatophores to create complex patterns across your body? These questions push us to the very limits of what we can understand about other minds. The squid Umwelt, their perceptual world, is so radically different from ours that we can barely begin to imagine what their experience might be like. They inhabit a reality where the boundaries between self and environment become permeable, where identity might be as fluid as their shape-shifting abilities. In many ways, squids represent the perfect example of how evolution doesn't follow the rules we think it should. They didn't evolve intelligence through social cooperation or technological advancement. They didn't develop large, centralized brains or complex communication systems. Instead, they found their own unique solution to the challenge of survival in a complex world. Their intelligence emerged from the specific pressures of being soft-bodied predators in environments filled with both opportunities and dangers. Every aspect of their cognitive abilities, from their distributed nervous systems to their rapid decision-making capabilities, reflects adaptations to their particular ecological niche. This teaches us that intelligence isn't a ladder with humans at the top and other animals arranged below us according to how closely they resemble human cognition. Instead, intelligence is more like a vast landscape of different peaks, each representing different solutions to the challenges of survival and reproduction. Squids have climbed their own cognitive peak, developing abilities that in some areas surpass our own. Their camouflage abilities, reaction times, and distributed processing capabilities represent forms of intelligence that we can admire but never truly possess. As we continue to explore the depths of our oceans and study these remarkable creatures, we're constantly discovering new aspects of their intelligence that challenge our preconceptions. Each new study reveals additional layers of complexity in their behavior, cognition, and sensory capabilities. Recent advances in technology are allowing us to study squids in their natural environments rather than just in laboratory settings. Underwater cameras, genetic analysis, and sophisticated tracking devices are revealing behaviors that we never suspected existed. We're discovering that squid societies are more complex than we thought, that their communication systems are more sophisticated than we imagined, and that their cognitive abilities extend far beyond what we previously believed possible. The implications of this research extend far beyond marine biology. Understanding how intelligence can evolve in such radically different forms helps us better understand our own minds and the nature of consciousness itself. It also provides crucial insights for the development of artificial intelligence systems and our search for intelligence beyond Earth. As we conclude this journey into the alien intelligence of squids, it's worth reflecting on what these creatures teach us about the nature of intelligence and consciousness. They remind us that the universe is filled with minds that think in ways we're only beginning to understand. They challenge our assumptions about what it means to be intelligent and force us to expand our definition of consciousness beyond the narrow confines of human experience. Squids prove that intelligence doesn't require society, that consciousness doesn't need centralized brains, and that the most profound forms of thinking might be happening in ways we never expected. They're living proof that evolution is far more creative and surprising than we ever imagined. So the next time you see a squid, whether in an aquarium, on a nature documentary, or perhaps during a dive in the ocean, remember that you're looking at one of the most sophisticated information processing systems on Earth. You're witnessing intelligence that evolved completely independently from your own, a mind that experiences reality in ways you can barely imagine. These remarkable creatures remind us that we share our planet with intelligences as alien as anything we might find among the stars. And perhaps that's the most humbling and exciting realization of all. The universe is filled with minds, and we're only just beginning to understand the incredible diversity of ways that consciousness can manifest. In studying squids, we're not just learning about marine biology. We're exploring the very nature of what it means to think, to perceive, and to be aware. And that journey of discovery has only just begun.